My name is John Neas, and this is a 1956 SR Corvette. Corvette, or Chevrolet, was trying to save the Corvette. In 1955, they only sold 700, and they redesigned it for 56, but decided to make a performance car out of it. And as part of the effort, they decided to run cars at Sebring against international competition. They had 4 cars that were actually team cars of Chevrolet, but they put them in other people's names, so if they did really bad, they might not be embarrassed. Also, who knows what their attorneys might have said at that time. And they also had another one that ran.
We're talking about the SR1 or?
Well, I'm going to the SR1.
I'm sorry. Okay, got it.
Why they built this. And there was another one that had been an in-house car, but came kind of in semi-private hands that ran also, so a total of 5 cars. FIA, to legalize these cars for Sebring, wanted to see a number of production cars built. At the time of Sebring, Chevrolet agreed to build 6 at their factory at St. Louis, and they used 11 of the 13 special racing or SR options. This car was one of those 6 produced, and some of the items it had was Houdaille shocks, special suspension, special shocks, limited slip differential, shortened steering column, dual fan belts on the motor, and just a series of things. One of the options they did not have, of the original options, they did not have the 37-gallon gas tank. They produced these cars in early June of 1956 at St. Louis. Some of the options included also were the Hallebrand magnesium knockoff wheels, and had side scoops to cool the rear brakes. The backing plates were vented, had Cero metallic brake shoes, oversized, had side exit exhaust with slightly larger tubing and a very short muffler. 4 of the cars went to one of their dealers that had good connections and raced, Dick Doan in Dundee, Illinois. A connected dealer out of Dwayne Grotwald acquired one of them, and when he picked it up, it had SR on the chassis. He was wanting to send me a picture of that, but it got lost during an IRS audit. He also gave me the canceled check for buying this car from Dick Doan, and the gentleman is now in his 90s, and what I understand is still having a good time. This car went to a local person, probably in the South Dakota, Northwest Iowa area. He wanted a red one, so he painted it red. I think it's probably a Cadillac red. So it spent a high part of its life as a red car, even though it was Aztec copper from the factory. The second owner made probably the most significant history with the car. His name is Bruce Geisler, out of the LA area, and a confirmed car hobbyist from day one. And the family had enough income that he could do it. He picked his car up. He even gave me some 3D pictures of it throwing up snow in South Dakota as they left that area. Took it to LA, and he proceeded to enjoy it for part of what it was built for. It wasn't road racing, but it was drag racing and top end racing. He won 27 drag races in a row with this car. NHRA took it to Hawaii on July the 4th, 1957, and he won his class and he won his eliminator bracket. Plus he was in a car show there. And I've got some movie film where it shows that it has like probably Von Dutch striping on the dash. Then he ventured onto El Mirage. He set a record with this in October of '57. And I've got the original dash plaque that he was given for setting that record. And he continued to race it just about every weekend. There was one race that's really interesting. He won Lions on Saturday night in San Gabriel's on Sunday afternoon and got a trophy for that. It's supposed to be the first annual. I've never seen another first annual or second annual of that, but you just had to win those two races in a row. There's pictures of it in Hot Rod and Rod and Custom in '57. More recent, there's pictures of it in Hot Rod Deluxe, and right before Rod and Custom went out of business, they had more photographs in there. This is within the last 5 years. But he traded in for another car. By the way, when he got this car, he went to Harry Mann, which is a large Corvette dealer, and showed it to him. They said, we didn't have access to one of those, even though in the car magazines they said they were going to have it, but that would just help with the legalization. He then took it to back to Grotewald, and I think maybe during that time he'd lost his driver's license and made it out of the state pretty fast. Went back and bought a '58 Biscayne from Grotewald that had a 4-speed in it, and just about every '58 expert will tell you they never produced '58s with 4 speeds, but this was a factory car, 315 horse, big block, 348. Now where we go from here?
Well, speaking of the 4-speed car, I have a friend that stopped in to see a couple cars that were parked outside. One was a '58 station wagon with a 4-speed.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lady was driving it, they wanted to pull a trailer, and they were dissatisfied with a 3-speed trying to pull a trailer, so they did have a 4-speed. We tried to get that car, but
But chances are the dealer put it in, or do you think?
they ordered it straight from the factory that way because they were going to pull
Yeah.
a trailer.
You know, whenever the experts tell you something didn't happen, it very well could have.
It very well could have.
And by early '58, this one did have a 4-speed and a 283 fuel-injected engine in it, because he obviously raced the car a lot. And
So he raced it mostly with a fuel injection?
I don't think he raced it too much with a fuel injection, but when Mike Hunt found this car in central Illinois, that motor was still in it.
The original block was in it?
No, the CS motor, the '58 fuel-injected motor
Oh.
was in it. I've just seen notes on it. It did not come when I got it because the car had gone through.
Was the original motor